Sort of what I try and do is impart what I call simple stuff, basic elementary stuff. Okay, because I normally work with children because that's where it starts. That's where learning starts with humans, right? Okay. So what I try and do is just impart knowledge that people can learn through experience, and experience becomes the means testing, right? Okay. So this is where I'm going to talk about intelligence, and if you're a peacekeeper, right, and you're a healer, and you're a teacher, you have to sort of master, if you will, the art of being in a non-reactive state, but at the same time being able to dump an enormous amount of acid waste that we experience as a result of experiencing those who run it. Okay? Without reacting to it in the same way that they react to what they experience. Okay? That is a measurement in learning. That's a chemist. That's an alchemizer. Okay? We are alchemizers. That's what allows us to retune the cosmos. Okay? To live in peace, love, harmony, and balance with everything that is held within the light that we are aware of, that we communicate with. Right? Right. So I know that one time when I was dealing with a lot of my own trauma as a result of when I was a small child and says, I don't want to experience what I'm experiencing a distorted energy field because this is not what I am and this is not the real universe. I want to go home. So when I realized that fell on deaf ears, I thought, okay, I guess I'm here for the duration. So you got a built-in looking glass, right? Yeah, you know that what it is to live in the light everywhere the light is in living spirit, which means we never lose any energy. No, we don't. But we lose energy when we become aware of somebody who's running a low-wave transmitter, right? Because now we're experiencing what they are instead of what we are, which is high-speed waves. Different transmitters, okay? That's why I knew as a child, stay with all the big neurons, man, where the intelligence of the cosmos is connected to all the light, which everything that is in the light. You realize this is a spiritual war, which is an energy war, which is a frequency transmitter war, because the information is transmitted through the electrical current. Pulsed waves. Okay. So I got tagged one time for being what they call a sandbagger. Man, you absorb a lot of junk from all these experiences because you're experiencing what they experience. You got to dump it, man. Dump it, delete it. But when you're collecting data to put a puzzle together, because I had to figure out at the very basic level, when you're a small child and you're already able, through a looking glass, you can compile the data. It's called mapping the terrain, as I've covered before. You already know that this species is going to go extinct if they don't change their ways, which means go in the other direction. You already know that. So you already know that all the schools that they're in is going to lead to exactly that, their own termination. But they don't know that. Okay? Because Mother Nature, the girl on the planet, was not their teacher. Okay? They were learning through demons. What demons do. So they mimic. That's called Mockingbird. Mockingbird programming. Project Monarch. The CIA actually puts up how they do what they do to humanity to program them to go extinct. Dr. Robert O. Young, PH Miracle Healing Center in Valley Center, California, he puts it through all of his research. Here it is. That's why he'll be the first one to tell you there's no such thing really as a virus, defined as poison into the cellular communication system that you have. You have symptoms. The symptoms appear as a result of what? An overload of acidic waste as a result of experiences that are low frequency. So instead of running high-speed waves, we're running low-speed waves as a result of what? Too much acid waste production. So when children have suffered trauma, they go to the exact opposite source, okay, of a sugar high, which all that is the body trying to replace what is a waste product of metabolism. And the demons are more than willing to accommodate by throwing all that sugar and stuff in everybody's face. That's why the loss of neurons goes down, which means the loss of the transmitters of the information they become aware of. You got an immune system that's trying to alkalize you while you're trying to kill yourself off. And what do you think happens when you do that? Your vehicle becomes a ripe target for a demon to move right in and take it over. Okay, or other multidimensional parasites or other beings that are now connecting and have access to your energy field because you're blowing holes in it. So you got to protect your energy integrity. Okay, so we teach you how to do that. That's what Dr. Robert O. Young does. That's what my clan mother, Karen Ann Luke McDonald, does. So sometimes whenever I get into the comment community, even in the spiritual community, okay, when I talk about your perception of who I am is a perception of who you are in that mirror, okay, because you're not my soul, your soul belongs to you. What you experience is what you choose to experience. That doesn't mean I have to choose what you experience. I choose what I experience based on the energy that I use to experience what I am in the universe I live in. I write my own stories, okay, which means you're an autonomous unit because you know who you are. That's your identity function. So sometimes you have to bite your lip. Don't react to it, okay? Because when you realize what happened down here and the level and the weapons that they throw at people, that end up programming what it is that they experience. And if they don't understand how that works, it's going to be difficult for them to know what's true, what's not true, and the way in which communication is actually being imparted, unless you start using what's called givens and qualifiers and a ton of information, which means if you can't even comprehend a large construct or an entire library, in other words, for you to understand what it is that I'm trying to impart in one sentence, which represents an entire library, they don't have the attention span to hold that much information in their mind at one time because of the programming. Okay, they can't perceive it. It's too much information. So they cut you off. Okay, so it's just like, don't bother. The programming went too deep. So you got to open up more space, right? More geometric space to fill up more information they become aware of holographically. So sometimes what happens is what we're talking about here is please do not insult my intelligence. Okay? So we don't say nothing. Just bite your lip, go the other way. And not allow the lack of knowledge or lack of light or understanding or a larger conversation to take place, because numero uno, we keep the peace. First and foremost, to maintain the harmony of the waves and the balance of those waves with the rest of the universe. So that always has to be numero uno. Right? Right. And then we can come to unfold or unpack the information in a way that we can realize the underlying causality of why there is so much imbalance, why the waves of communication are not in harmony. Because at the end of the day, what it boils down to is your free will to experience whatever you want to experience, because that's your free will right to do that. So at the end of the day, what it boils down to is what is the speed of the wave that you're using to experience who you are that you share with others. When you communicate, your radio station, right? Now my antennas are picking up your energy, and I can translate that and go, wow, another powerhouse. Cool to meet you. Where are you from? Right? Because at the end of the day, we want Star Nation communities to thrive, right? Of course, to have the most beautiful trade and travel network relationships. Because that's what the light does, isn't it? Of course. Because wherever the light is, love is. So we're always looking out for each other, right? Because we want everybody to thrive. That's why when I was a child and I realized, man, I'm not supposed to suffer any pain. I just got cut. Man, that doesn't feel good. It stresses me out. Okay? They diagnosed me with reactive hypertension at age 14 because the environment that I'm in and the way that what they do down here is causing me to experience something I'm not supposed to experience because this is not my normal density. So when I'm experiencing a loss of electrons as a result of being harmed or an injury, and I know that I'm not supposed to experience that, something is distorted. Just like what's going on with my elbow. I'm not supposed to be experiencing this because that's not what love is. So what it does to me is increase the amount of what? Acid production like crazy. Okay? Because I don't fit into this kind of stuff. And I would never be able to fit into this kind of stuff because it's clinically insane. So I realize when I'm a child, I'm surrounded by people who belong in an insane asylum because they're killing themselves off. So what do you do with that when you're stuck here? That's why I went out to live out in the wounds, out in the boondocks, and I'm getting away from all these people.